Hi, Ross here from Biker Talk, a channel where I'll be talking to motorcyclists of all ages about their motorcycle and where they like to ride. If you like what you see, please leave a like and subscribe, and if you'd like to be involved, please message me via the Biker Talk Facebook page. To kick things off, I thought I would tell you a little bit about myself and the bikes that I have in the garage. And today's video will be all about my 1949 Stroud Panther. Phelan & Moore made Panther motorcycles in Cleckheaton, Yorkshire from 1904 to 1968 and are mostly known for their heavyweight singles, the 600 and 650 slopers. What they are less known for is some of their lightweight models, namely the M65, the M70 and the M75, and it's the M75 that is the basis of my quite rare 350cc Stroud. So how did I come to own this stunning little bike? To answer that, I need to go into a little bit of family history. My father was quite a Panther tragic, having ridden them regularly in the late 50s and early 1960s, to and from the family bicycle and motorcycle shop in Rockhampton, Queensland. My dad had quite a few bikes when he was younger, including a beautiful little Honda Dream, but it was the Panther that I always remember him talking about. So when he started to get back into motorcycles in the mid to late 1980s, he bought a sloper. He quickly decided he needed to add to his Panther collection. And after looking for quite a while, he was put in contact with a bloke who was selling a Panther, and what he claimed was a Stroud. It turns out it was a Stroud, proven by the engine number, which is a KX. My dad bought the bike, which essentially came in boxes. He reassembled it, rode it on heaps of rallies until he was no longer able to ride in about 2009, at which point I inherited the bike. It sat in my garage for quite a few years until I decided in 2019 to restore it and get it up and running again. So what we have here is a 1949 348cc Stroud running a brand new 622 concentric carb with a 4-speed Berman gearbox, a Lucas Magneto, a Lucas headlight, Smith Speedo, and Dowdy forks that have been converted to springs. It's also running drum brakes, which can best be described as, well, not quite adequate. But who cares when it's only putting out 15 brake horsepower at 5,500 RPM. My main bike is a BMW, and apart from that, I've only ever had Japanese bikes. So the right side gear change with a 1-up and 3-down pattern takes quite a bit of getting used to. The guards were quite banged up, so I sourced new ones. And I quite like the look of the shorter front guard, even though the bike originally came with a much longer front guard. I've replaced the regulator with a new unit, but I've kept it 6 volt and adding in a smaller taillight to tidy up the back end. I picked up a replacement throttle body, choke, brake and clutch levers from Motorcyclo in Sydney, and finished it with a new set of bars and built wheel grips. The main issue I've had so far in the restoration has been with the tank, which was showing some signs of rust, which needed to be cut out. The tank was then re-nickel and copper plated, and it was at this stage that I thought, well, I might not get it re-chromed. I really liked the look, so I thought instead I'd just leave it copper. The original idea was to leave the copper untreated and let it age, but after looking at some inspiration shots online, I decided to get it polished up and had the primary copper plated at the same time. For me, this is now a real feature of the bike and something that really turns heads, and it's a definite talking point. The old seat was well and truly past it, and so I picked up a new seat pan online and had it trimmed in green leather by Dave at Badass Trim Co. to complement the copper on the tank. I don't ride it that much, but when I walk into the garage, it just looks like a work of art sitting there amongst the other bikes. I still have a bit of work to do, which no doubt I'll get around to, but at the moment it's just a bike that I love owning and is a real conversation starter whenever I park it up somewhere, as all Panther owners would know. So that's my 1949 Stroud, a pretty rare and beautiful bike that I've made my own, and I'd love to hear what you think about it in the comments below. I'll be back soon with another video, so be sure to subscribe, and if you'd like to get involved, let me know. I hope to see you again soon, and remember, you can't buy happiness, but you can ride a motorcycle, and that's kind of the same thing.